My fellow Bernie Sanders supporters, my name is Martise Chisholm, and I am feeling the burn. I am a member of the National Nurses United, the largest registered union of registered nurses in the country, including 6,500 registered nurses in Illinois. I am a proud member of the Reclaim campaign. National Nurses United was the first national union to endorse Senator Bernie Sanders for the President of the United States. Nurses around the country are wearing the Bernie scrubs. As we canvass across the country, I wore my red Bernie scrub in Nevada last weekend. I'm wearing it now, and I'm going to wear it next weekend in Iowa. Nurses chose Bernie Sanders because we see up close and personal every day what suffering looks like. When Bernie rolled out his comprehensive plan to provide Medicare to every person in this country, we applauded his courage because we know it was our patient whose lives he were talking about. I'm sorry, Hillary Clinton. We would not turn our backs on 29 million people in this country that have no health insurance. We would not pretend to have an insurance means that you actually can afford your medical bills. We would not let drug companies and insurance companies get rich off of denying people health care. I saw a graphic on Facebook recently that it is worth repeating. It said, I am tired of accepting the things that I cannot change. It is time to change the things I cannot accept. Healthcare is broken in this country, and we will not accept, no, we can't. The same pundits that claim we should give up on Medicare also want us to believe that Hillary Clinton has every black and brown vote and that Bernie can't win Chicago or in the South. As an African-American woman, I am here to say Bernie Sanders is gaining support in our communities. As more people learn about what Bernie stands for, as people hear what he has to say about voting rights, college education, fixing our criminal justice system, and rebuilding our communities, I see more and more smiles breaking out, heads beginning to nod, and a few amens. Why? Because Bernie Sanders is the only candidate that speaks to the real problems that we face. He comes out and says that it is wrong and it is racist that every black baby boy born today has 1 in 3 chances of ending up in prison. He comes out and say that it is wrong that millions of kids know that no matter how hard they study, their family won't be able to send them to college. he comes out to say that it is wrong that Wall Street and the big banks steal all the wealth while Main Street struggles to meet ends meet.
Yep, that's right.
Hillary Clinton pundits also seem to think that we should ignore her corporate donors and support her solely because she is a woman. As an organization that is 90% women, my union would love to break the glass ceiling. But for now, we are going to break the class ceiling. We agree with Bernie Sanders when he calls for a $15 per hour minimum wage and paid family leave. We agree with Bernie Sanders when he demands that Wall Street and the big banks pay their fair share so that we will have money for our social services. We agree with Bernie Sanders when he calls for a political revolution. Let me close with a personal story. 51 years ago, my civil rights activist great-grandmother answered the call of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. She marched across the Selma Edmund Pettus Bridge. 10 months later, she quietly traveled to Jackson, Mississippi to testify at a hearing sponsored by Senator Robert Kennedy on discrimination and poverty in the Mississippi Delta. She traveled with her first cousin, a 78-years-old black female teacher, a 27-year-old white male college student from Boston, and 2 black male activists. On their way back home, their car was forced off the road by the Klans. My great-grandmother was decapitated. The 78-year-old teacher's arms were severed off her body. My mother was 22 years old. I was 5 years old. As you can imagine, I don't take my right to vote for granted. My vote is very, very important to me. When I vote for candidates that reflect nurses' value and put the community first. Bernie Sanders is the only candidate that embraces our values. Bernie Sanders is the only candidate that stands in the footsteps of the civil rights movement. Bernie Sanders is the only candidate that stands in the foot of my great-grandmother and all the civil rights activists that she worked with. I have no doubt that when we stand together, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. This is what the Bernie Sanders campaign is about. This is why the nurses joined the political revolution. Tell me what a political revolution looks like.